So today I'm going to be trying something new. I'm going to be combining playing in my Minecraft world whilst also reading some Reddit stories. There are definitely some juicy ones lined up for us today, so let's get into it. Alright, we've got the first one here. So I found out that my husband has been cheating on me for the last 2 to 3 years. We've been together for 10 plus years, and he told me that we were roommates and that we were only together for our daughter's sake. Okay, wow, talk about excuses. Meanwhile, I've been working part-time helping financially with groceries. Also, here, this is what I'm working on today. I'm building a nice path from the stables towards the barn house, but I need quite a lot of gravel for the coarse dirt, and I have absolutely zero. So I need to go to a deep ocean biome today and use a conduit to try and collect some gravel from the seafloor. Yeah, here's my little stable over here. I'm very proud of this. It took me quite a lot of time and I put a lot of effort into this. It looks kind of rustic and I kind of like it. Anyway, back to the story. Meanwhile, I've been working part-time, helping financially with groceries despite having a limited income, cleaning, cooking, and raising our daughter. Back last year, she apparently saw a picture of us. He was hugging me, and even a video of him hugging me. If she didn't know we were in a relationship, why did she stay after seeing that? This is referring to the husband's affair with the other lady, which is quite weird because, I don't know, if my partner was living together for 10 years with roommates with a shared daughter, and I saw videos and pictures of them hugging each other, that'd be quite peculiar. Fast forward, I have a lot of pictures and text messages I could send her to prove we're not just roommates, and that his story was a lie. What really shocks me is that I got pregnant and had a newborn from him, all while he was talking to this other woman, and I had no idea. Dang, that actually sucks. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. On my baby shower, my friend posted a picture of us together, and that's when the side woman found out I was pregnant. She had no clue before that. Yet, she and my ex-husband are still together. How can someone be with a person who lied to them on top of that? Now knows there's another baby involved. When I confronted him, he denied everything and flipped the switch, making it about me, saying he wasn't happy and tried to leave many times, but he stayed for our daughter. So now, after being caught, it's suddenly easier for him to walk away with 2 kids instead of 1. Yeah, to be fair, that is quite a good point. Like, if you didn't leave when there was 1 kid, I don't think you can use that excuse when you now have 2. Now, the question is, should I expose him and show her the proof that we were together all along and that he was living a double life? I think the best thing to do in this situation is to be truthful with everyone involved. At least if everyone is properly informed of the situation, the person your husband was having an affair with can make her own decision on how to deal with the situation herself, because I honestly doubt the fact that he has been completely honest with her, considering the fact he lied to you for 3 years. So it's not out of the question to think he may have not been truthful with her, and she doesn't deserve it. And if she chooses to stay with him, well, firstly, I think that's a weird decision to make. To stay with a man who's been lying to you for the past 3 years is just ludicrous in my opinion. However, that would be her decision to make, and at least she was able to make that decision fully informed of all the facts. But hey, at least you are out of that relationship. And to be honest, my heart goes out to the kids in this predicament. Cheating sucks, especially when there's kids involved, so I hope this does not affect them. It sounds like they're young at this time, but however, these things can have an effect later on in their lives. Hopefully, one thing we can all agree on is that this man is an asshole to betray his wife and mislead another woman like this. But in short, yes, you should make sure the other woman, as you called her, knows all the relevant information. Just be sure to be respectful and caring in doing so. I'm sure she's having a hard time in this as well. By the way, this is the first time I've ever used a conduit in Minecraft. And to be honest, I feel like this is a really good way to get gravel, because I don't think there's a way to farm gravel except through like piglins, and I don't have the gold to be trading with piglins at the moment. So yeah, conduit powers, and also collecting the gravel like this is just really satisfying. Alright then, let's get into the next story. Okay, to lighten the mood a bit, I think I found a story that is quite funny. Alright then, This happened a long time ago, but it just crossed my mind today. I was 16 years old, and we just started smoking weed with my friend. We used to do it after school, and then, when I'd come home, my mum would still be at work. One day, I got off the bus right by my house, and my mum calls me. Mom, hey, where are you now? Me, high as fuck. I just got off the bus by our house. Okay, when you come home, can you come into the living room? I just want to talk to you. At this point, my eyes are so red and glossy that I know even my innocent little mother will know what's up. At this point, if I was ever caught in this situation, I would be stressing. And this guy he must be completely fearful for his life. He's going to be caught out by his mother. However, he hatches the most devious plan I have ever read in my life. I see a man walking his German Shepherd. I'm highly allergic to animals with fur, and especially fur that is coarse like a German Shepherd. I ask him if I can pet his dog. He happily says yes, thinking I just love dogs, not knowing the nefarious reasons behind my actions. Little did he know that my hand is now a live grenade. I walk towards my house and then rub my fingers in my eye, like really getting in there. It's just a matter of seconds before I feel the swelling coming on. The time I get to my house, maybe 3 minutes, my eyes are double the size. I am looking like the sloth from the Goonies. My mother screams, "Oh my God, what happened?" I think I might have touched something I'm allergic to and rubbed it in my eye. "Oh my God, go find a washcloth and soak it in some cold water and cool it down." "Yeah, I think I'm going to chill in my room a bit. Can we talk later?" "Yes, of course. Go take it easy, my love." I just think that was a very funny short story of how a kid tried to get out of trouble with his parents. By the way, look how beautiful my base looks at night. With all the lights lighting up, I feel like this looks really nice, and I can't wait to keep working on it. So the theme I'm kind of going for is like a Spanish, like colonial outpost in like an Aztec old village. So you can see like the Spanish buildings over there. I'm going to try and put some like old Aztec temples in the background, but I'm working on it. Anyway, let's get to this path. Am I the asshole? My girlfriend really only showers once a week, twice if I'm lucky. Typically we go to the gym together, and I've often asked her why she doesn't shower, and she always comes with things like, "Oh, women don't sweat much, and I sweat very little even for women's standards," and I don't buy it. You know why? Because I can smell her. I used to just suck it up, because I know she's extremely sensitive. Kinda not safe for work here, but this has affected our sex life. Anyway, fast forward a bit. She now starts using the sauna at the gym, maybe on average twice a week. She still refuses to shower though. I've said there's just no way you don't sweat in the sauna. Just me sitting there 5 minutes gets me soaked, and she said she doesn't sweat much there either, and she sits there for 20 minutes. Dude, this is just a crazy situation. I think she might need to shower, and I think you might just need to hint to her that she needs to shower. Things are getting worse now. I can smell her very badly. Almost to the point I try not to breathe in too close to her because it's not good. I feel so bad for this guy, but it's just so funny. The fact that his girlfriend is just the stinkiest thing in his house, and yet he's trying like so desperately and so politely to give her hints that she stinks, but she's just not taking any of the hints, and she is just like burning his nostrils. It's actually quite funny, but it must be quite horrible to be in. It's just quite funny. I've tried so long to give her hints to shower more, like, "Hey, do you want to take a shower together?" But she can't take the hint, and says, "Why would we do that? There's only room for one under the water anyway." Bro, I don't know what to say to you. One evening, she wanted to lie down on the floor and stare at a world map she has. She's invited me to lie down next to her and just talk about what we want, where we want to go, and etc. I lasted for a minute before I had to get up and make some dumb excuse on why I had to get up. She then gets upset and says something along the lines of, "Why are you leaving? You never do stuff with me." The truth is, I just can't be near you because you stink. I don't know, my dude, this might be some like kind of crazy loyalty test where your girlfriend, just to test if you truly, truly love her, just makes herself like the stinkiest thing on planet Earth. I don't know, I can't tell if you're succeeding in this weird loyalty test or you are failing dramatically. By the way, speaking of stinky things, mossy cobblestone and tough with a bit of cobblestone is the best building combination on planet Earth. It looks really good for retaining walls, and I feel like it contrasts the wheat quite nicely. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm not even sure if I started to resent her because it was the only thing that was bugging me in the relationship. But maybe I did, and maybe that's my fault for being bad at communicating to her. Anyway, I couldn't hold it any longer. Tried one last time to ask if she wanted to take a shower with me to show that I did want to do stuff with her, but she declined. Then I said, I know you say you don't sweat, but I can smell you. I don't like the smell of sweat, etc. And it being a popular gym we go to, I would just appreciate it if you showered a bit more. To be honest, my guy, I don't know what better you could have done in that situation. You tried and you tried and you tried to give such subtle little hints. I think I'm going to need your guys' help in the comment section because this guy did genuinely try. But at some point, you can't beat around the bush. You have to just be plainly honest. She freaked out. World War III started. She accused me of things and asked if I found her disgusting, etc. Almost felt like she wanted me to think that she's disgusting for some messed up reason. Dude, I'm telling you, this is just some sort of loyalty test, and you have failed, my guy. You have failed. In all seriousness, you tried to help, I don't know. But I can see where you're coming from here, and I can also see where she's coming from. Because if she genuinely does not think that she stinks atrociously, it can be seen as quite rude to tell her that you need to shower a bit more. But you did phrase it in a nice way. But, I mean, there's no nice way to phrase a thing like that. Alright, he says like maybe this was an easy way to create distance between us, have less sex and all that. I'm not sure, maybe I'm overthinking it. However, to me, it just feels awfully obvious to shower, if not daily, at least every other day. My guy, I shower religiously every day. Like I need to shower like twice a day. I don't know, it's compulsory. I shower like twice a day. It's weird, I know, but I do it. So, point being, you would never catch me dead stinking like your girlfriend. Anyway, back to the story. She says she doesn't want to shower her hair often, but still, you can still shower your body. Our relationship is borderline over because I hurt her. So, guys, am I the asshole? What could I have done differently? We've got a small note here from the guy. Irrelevant, but is it normal that women shower less than men? I always assumed it was the opposite. Right, before we go into my opinion on this, we've got a small update here from the guy. Update. We broke up. She refused to accept she was disgusting by not showering, and did not see anything wrong. It was impossible for me to change her mind when she is dead set on no wrongdoing. No point for me to argue with someone like that. Seems like there was a lot of unresolved trauma in her past. I was aware of it, but not the severity of it, and how it still affected her. One of her first sentences to come out when I confronted her again about it was break up with me then, like she was challenging me or something. It made me feel really weird. Instead of us coming to an agreement together, she went very defensive and just attacked me. She struggled with having girlfriends, as she was scared of them stealing her current boyfriend or something, so she always went out of her way to hang out with guys. She loved getting validation from guys as well, so she ended up having a lot of friends with benefits over the years, she said. There's a lot of stuff I did not know, but that's just not my thing. I feel like this whole relationship has taken like a left turn or something. First we started with like a stinky girlfriend, and it's kind of devolved into like underlying issues, and there's a whole lot more complexity to this relationship, which is not here in the post, so we don't really have a full picture of it, but I think we're getting a pretty good idea of what's there. By the way, I love this path design, especially for like a humid jungle area. Mud, coarse dirt, and granite. It just looks beautiful. the thing is, coarse dirt is a pain in the butt to get because granite is just annoying in like the late game. I feel like that's the stage of Minecraft that I'm in now, because I quite like not playing Minecraft with like an elytra or having like massive farms. I just like, taking it at my own pace, spending, a few hours building a stable or a path I really like. So yeah. Anyway, for some reason I almost felt used in a way, because I felt like to her I was just another friend with benefits. However, she was someone I actually saw a future with. Yeah, 100% there are extra layers to this relationship, because this just feels like a massive like leap, especially for like calling your girlfriend stinky and insinuating that she needs to like shower more. There's definitely like underlying things going on here. Ultimately, what made us break up though was the fact she sees herself as over men, or me in this case. She believes women are holy. Her words, not mine. She was the taker in the relationship, and I was the giver. It worked for some time, but I started resenting her, and did not want to be as much of a giver for her anymore. Here, here it is, the underlying issue in the relationship. So it wasn't that she was stinky, but he felt kind of used in a relationship, which kind of sucks. It feels to, it sucks to be used in any relationship, really. So yeah, I can understand this guy's position more from here, because he feels used, and also, being in a relationship where you're used, and ultimately the person who's taking everything, as he called her, the taker, is a stinky taker. Not even a taker, but a stinky taker. It probably sucks to be in that relationship. So you know what, I feel like you made the right move in here to get yourself out of this. I don't think that this would have been a long-lasting relationship, especially with these underlying issues. Kind of sucks because it says he pictured a future with this girl, which, kind of sad, but to be honest, I feel like you've dodged a bullet here, mate. So I can't say I'm, sad this happened, because I feel like you needed it, and I feel like you've benefited from getting out of this relationship. Yeah, so I think the common consensus here, in the comments and from my own opinion, is that this guy is not the asshole. However, he has dodged a bullet to get rid of this situation, and unfortunately it has kind of hurt him, because he did kind of like this girl. I think this really reflects the importance of being like a good person and treating people fairly and kindly, and being equal in your relationship, because ultimately that is what a relationship is. It's a partnership of equals. It's not a transaction. Any relationship that involves transactions or needing transactions to function is not a true relationship. It's not a relationship built on respect or anything of mutual love or mutual respect for each other. It's a thing for goals and for a person's own selfish interest. So yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys think of this whole situation, because I'd like more than one opinion on this, so make sure to leave your opinions in the comments down below. If this video is actually somewhat decent and you guys are actually kind of liking the video, or if anyone's actually still here watching it, give it a like, maybe subscribe. I might do this again if, this does well and I'm not absolutely doing a botched job. I'm loving this path, by the way. I've made so much progress with it, and I've already said this already, but this little build palette for the floor, it just looks really nice, and it contrasts a lot to like the tuff and cobblestone I used in the install of the stable floor. So it looks kind of nice, and it looks more like old and rustic. Another thing I want to try and build after this path is a mine, because I need a mine. So maybe that'll be, the second video of me building a mine, or if this video does well, I might do a part 2. So if you guys want that, you know what to do. Hey, that rhymes. Oh, anyway, on to the next story. So this story is about a roommate and a little bit of a battle between roommates. Thankfully, I've never had to share a room with anyone except a sibling, so I've never had to experience this. And I'm sure it must be very stressful to be put in a room and live with someone who you absolutely hate. So let's get into the story. Alright, before we get started, I just want to point out I only chose this story because it said, "Am I the asshole for sleeping naked in my own room?" And I just found that intriguing, and let's explore this. Right, starting with throwaway account because I don't want my roommate to see this. Right, always a pleasant start. Since I was a teenager, I've always slept naked. I always get too hot at night, and it's just genuinely more comfortable for me to sleep that way. Whenever I leave my room, I always dressed, or at very least have some shorts or something if I'm going to or from the shower. My roommate knows this, and up to this point has had no problems with it. We always knock on each other's rooms, and are always very polite. Okay, so we're starting off as like a kind of healthy roommate relationship, and it seems like they're friends, or, they're somewhat cordial with each other. The issue started when he brought back his girlfriend to stay a couple of nights. We all get along pretty well, and have all hung out a few times before, but this was the first time she'd had come over and spent the night. We all had gone out drinking and got home pretty late, so once we all walked in and went straight to bed. Of course, I went to bed with my usual routine of getting naked and sliding into my bed. I didn't know there was no need for the word sliding into my bed after naked, but we just deal with it. Sometimes, during the night, my roommate's girlfriend needed to use the bathroom, but she didn't know which room it was in. My room and the bathroom are right next to each other, and she opened my door by mistake. Yeah, I think we could all see this coming. I have a vague memory of her opening my door, but I was half asleep, and when she closed it, I went right back to sleep. What a champion, man. Completely unfazed. I would be completely embarrassed if that ever happened to me. Like, genuinely, I would not be able to sleep. Like, I don't think I'd able be, to sleep again, or even if I showered, I'd need to shower with my clothes on. That would just traumatize me for life. The next morning, I woke up, and my roommate and his girlfriend were upset with me. Because when she had walked in, she had saw everything, and she was mad that I would even sleep naked in the first place when a guest was over. They both said I needed to start wearing clothes to sleep, since my roommate's girlfriend is probably going to be staying over more often, and it makes her uncomfortable. My argument was that I'm in my own private space anyway, and it was all a mistake, and if she's staying over anyway, she will know which room the bathroom is in, so it's not my fault that she's the one who walked in and sleeping on me, so why should I have to change? To be fair, this is like a valid argument. If he's in his own room with the door closed, and if she's now aware of where he is and where he's going to be naked, I don't think this will ever happen again. And I feel like, I don't know, they're just pushing this a bit too far, but we'll see where this goes. Ooh, we've got an edit. I always love an edit. To everyone saying I should lock my door or add a lock, I would really like to. Unfortunately, the place we're staying at doesn't want us to change the door handles or anything, so I can't do that. However, I'm currently looking into ways to stop my door from opening that isn't like a barricade or drills into the door or wall or something. I don't know, I think just the image of them installing a nuclear bunker door, like a cast iron door, because they were just so horrified by the fact that this guy is just sleeping naked next door. To be honest, I could get behind it if my roommate was sleeping naked. I think it would just disturb me. But I don't know. I've never had a roommate, so I don't know if I'm just being realistic or I'm just showing how privileged I am to have, always have my own room. Maybe not privileged, but I've never been in a situation where I've had to share a room with someone, so I just don't know a lot about the situation. Ooh, we've got an update to the story. For starters, I brought out how hypocritical it is to ask me to not sleep naked, especially since they're definitely naked when they're having sex in the same home as me. He said that was different though, since they're not sleeping that way and usually hang something on the door handle. So I brought up the point that now she knows which door leads to the bathroom, so it shouldn't happen again. Whenever she spends the night, and he says it just still makes her uncomfortable. I guess she thinks I'm just gonna come out of my room swinging my junk around. I don't know, man. You just seem like an absolute threat to society with the amount of comfortableness you have of being naked. I don't know, if I was your roommate, I'd have you put in a max security prison because you just can't be that comfortable naked. It's just, I don't know. I just can't understand it. So I suggested that he only spends the night at her place if it makes her so uncomfortable, but he literally said it's just easier for them to sleep here instead. No idea how that could be if I make her so uncomfortable. So in the end, I basically said I'm still going to sleep naked, but I'm putting a doorstop in my room to make sure it doesn't happen again. And if they're still not satisfied, then they're just going to have to deal with it. Speaking of dealing with it, this monstrosity of a Geneva Convention break is my villager trading hall, because villagers in Bedrock Edition are the most frustrating thing on planet Earth. I don't know why they just decide to give all the most annoying, most difficult, like game mechanics to Bedrock Edition, where Java villagers are just so much more simple, and you guys have it so much easier if you play in Java, like you don't understand. But hey, it does mean we have to give the villagers slightly more rights on this version, so pluses and minuses. I didn't really talk about him walking in, because again, I don't really care if I'm seen naked. Yeah, I figured, bro. I know that's rare. Yeah, it is. You peculiar human being. You need to be put in a lab. I don't understand how you are just this super comfortable in your own skin. Anyway, and it's really his fault, because if he doesn't want to see me naked and walks in on me sleeping, I'll continue to update you on this as it goes on. I mean, do I think you should wear clothes when you're sleeping? Morally, yes. But however, to put my own opinion about sleeping naked to the side, if you're in your own room and you're not harming anyone and it's private, I don't think you should change your ways. I feel like this is just like a teething problem, which will just get solved as you go on. By the way, just to put all the theories to rest, side note here, to the people saying his girlfriend wants me or something, I'm rocking an average 5.5 inches, so I'm not all that impressive. Not only that, I'm pretty sure I wasn't hard, and I'm a grower, not a shower, so it was even less impressive. Thank you all for thinking I was packing though. So yeah, the poster has officially put all the theories to rest. His girlfriend is not trying to advance her opportunities, shall we say. It is just a genuine teething problem. By the way, this building over here is my melon and pumpkin farm, so this is where I get all my melons and pumpkin in an automatic farm that I've built underneath like the ground, and they come up through a little bubble elevator and they get sorted into these things. Quite cool, automatic, and I think it's the first farm I built in this world, so it's pretty cool. And melons and pumpkins are just the best way to trade with farmer villagers, so yeah, bit of a Minecraft hint for you there. Alright, I'm now just finishing like the pathway, adding some lights towards it, because I want to try and minimize any creeper mishaps or mobs spawning in this area. Even though you can probably tell by the iron golems everywhere, mobs here, they won't last very long. And I think this is a very cool design for like lampposts, is these lanterns. I really like them, especially with like the oval shaped roofs I've used in my areas. I just think it looks very cool. I don't claim to be a very good builder, by the way, but all my builds are made by me. I don't follow any tutorial for them, so they, just come out of my mind. So I think they look kind of cool. And I really like the way this path looks as well. And I'm thinking of maybe expanding it to have like a bridge going over to this area, and maybe having some more wheat fields over here as well. Ignore those dirt pillars over there. That's where I was measuring my horse. I'm going to get rid of this tree because it's in the way. Alright, I found an interesting one for us. My roommate, 25 female, revealed to me, 24 male, that she has feelings for me this evening. I recently got out of a relationship and then lost my grandfather. So she wanted to give me some space before saying something. I started going on a few dates the last few weeks and have started getting close to someone. So she decided to tell me. I also have feelings for her and have for a long time. I just never thought it was a possibility and didn't want to mess up our friendship. I always get nervous with stories like this because this can either end really nice or really, really badly. We have been living together for 2.5 years with another roommate, my sister, 27-year-old. My sister and my roommate were friends for years before she introduced me to her, and she also has feelings for her. But my roommate does not have feelings for her. My sister was a bit upset and decided to go to my room for the night. What do I do? Any tips on how to navigate this situation? We're going out for lunch tomorrow. Oh, we've got an update. We had lunch. We started putting a plan in place to talk with my sister. We talked about what we liked about each other and went out to a waterfall to spend some time together. While I blew off a little work, because she was just too worth it. We talked for a bit until neither of us could wait to kiss each other any longer. We're going to go out to her favourite restaurant tonight, and then to a concert hall together. Thank you all for the advice, it helped a lot. Oh, so this went positively. Our concert and our dinner date was fantastic. We both agreed we had the time of our lives. I gave my sister some space at the house to talk about some stuff out with my roommate. Wednesday night, and they smoothed a lot of things over. She met me for lunch at the park today. We had a great time talking and enjoying the nice weather tonight. We spent some time this evening watching TV before I headed out of town for the weekend. My sister and I are planning on talking one-on-one, and then hopefully all of us as a group when I return from my trip. See, look, like being a bit brave and confiding in your roommate for who you've always liked, and you've gained like a new partner from this. And this is quite like, I don't know, it's quite a wholesome story so far, with them two coming together, and you know everything seems to be going well. So despite all the weird and destructive stories we've listened to today, I don't know, they're still good in the world, and there's still a lot of good people in this world, and you know, good things happen to good people. Things have been going amazing with my roommate. We've been missing each other like hell while I'm out of town, but I'll be home tomorrow and we can't wait to see each other. I have a half day from work on Wednesday and plan on taking her for a picnic to a very nice waterfall before we hike down it. Things are almost exactly like they were previously, but now we finally get to indulge in our intimacy for each other. Everything I know about her, every fantastic quality she has, is just dialed to 1-1, because she's just not afraid to show herself anymore, and I couldn't ask for anything better. What an inspiring story. I don't know, I have nothing more to add to that story, and I'm just glad, I'm happy for you, my guy. So here it is, the final product. So this definitely isn't finished, and I'd like to do some more work on it, maybe add a wheat field there, but this looks really nice. Thank you guys for watching the video. Subscribe if you like it. Bye.